So let me give you all a little rundown about what happened last week. I hadn't posted about it yet, and I was kind of debating on whether to or not, but we're fixing to do this. I just got home today, and I'm letting off steam. Shit happens. I stopped at Speedco in Oak Grove, Missouri on a Sunday morning right when they open for an oil change. I normally do my own oil changes, but I was about 1,000 miles overdue, and I had about another 5,000 to put in before, 4 or 5,000, about 5,000 before I got home. So I pull up Sunday morning right before they open, thinking I'll get in and out early, whatever. A couple people didn't show up. Took a little longer for a PM than it should have, but it is what it is. You know, I got it done. Then they told me, they said, you got a leaking wheel seal on the trailer. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, can you get to it right now? If you can, let's fix it. I'm all about trying to fix shit right, you know. We'll go ahead and knock it out 1-2 hours. Shouldn't be a big deal. Then they pull it apart on a Sunday. Don't have the seal. So they find a Kenworth dealer over in Kansas that has one. And it's going to be a couple hours getting there. All right. I mean, what am I fixing to do? It's pulled apart. We got to do this now. You know, I got to be in Tennessee the next morning. So let's do it. I'll drive all night. We'll do whatever. I don't care. Let's get it fixed. Let's do it. You know. So they changed the wheel seal. They put it back together. They closed at 6 p.m. Got me out of there at 6:30. It is what it is. It's part of trucking. So I start rolling up the road, start losing air. So I'm thinking, we just had tire inflation lines off on that hub on the trailer, and maybe I should stop and check on it. And being the person I am, I'm usually hard-headed and like, you know what, screw it, send it. I got to be there in the morning. The compressor will keep up with it. But I was like, you know what? You know, if he left the wrong end loose, it could be leaking out of the tire. Let's whip into this rest area right quick. So I pull in. And now give credit where credit's due. Speedco bent over backwards to make it right. They really did. But after they sent roadside out, they could not take a hammer and beat the fucking hub off. I knew we had a problem. They beat on it enough to get it loosened up a little bit. I took it back to their shop on Monday. I'm already a day late for my delivery, and I'm the guy that's never late. I'm normally the guy that always pulls something out of his ass to get the load there and then get it fixed later, as long as we can do it safely. So, you know, I'm bending down to the broker right now. Like, look, dude, I'm sorry. This should have been a 1 or 2 hour deal, and here we are now into the next day. We get it back to the shop. They had to beat on it pretty hard. Not how I like to beat on it, because I beat on it pretty hard too, but you know what I'm saying. They had to beat on it pretty hard to get the hub off. The hub was trashed. The bearings were trashed. The inner bearing had to be pried and beat on to get it off, and I was so scared of what that spindle was going to look like. But honestly, the spindle still looks really good. And I looked at it myself. I got rid of all their shop policies about you can't go out there and all that bullshit. I didn't care about that at that point, and no one tried to change that. I went out there and looked at it myself, felt on it. We mic'd it. Everything looked good. Had one little rough spot in it. It was not bad at all. A little Scotch-Brite and emery cloth, and we cleaned it up. So they had to get me a new hub, new bearings, all new tire inflation lines, the hubcap. It's grease pack bearings, by the way. It's not oil bath, and I love oil bath, but you know, I may have already said that, but I don't care. Everything was going good. They had all the parts. The airline that goes through the center of the spindle, they had it. When they went to put it back together, guess what? Had the wrong threads on the side that goes on the back side of the spindle. And I almost told them, you know what, fuck it, I'll deal with it when I get home. But I didn't, you know what, at that time I didn't want to deal with it. I wanted them to deal with it. They did it. And what I found out was, later, the guy torqued the nut on the end of the spindle to 350 foot-pounds. Found this out. And the guy that came in behind him and fixed it said, oh, no, we don't do that. You know, it got ugly in there for a minute. And the guy that took over, honestly, did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal. Great. He doesn't need to be working at Speedco. He needs to be working at a well-represented shop. He was freaking absolutely great. Everyone was apologetic. Apologies don't mean shit. I got a load that's now 2 days late. And like I said, the broker was freaking phenomenal. I was sending them updates via email and like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, like this should have been a short deal, but it's not happening, and you know, it's gonna be at best noon tomorrow, something. I got out of Speedco at 11:30 Monday night. When I got out of there, I rolled. I did what I had to do. I'm trying to do the best I can to get the people that's paying me happy. And got over into Illinois. I was like, I've had enough. I got to lay down for a little bit. And I mean, it just is what it is at that point. Like you got to do it when you got to do it. And I laid down for a couple of hours, and the broker called and said, hey, we didn't have an issue before, but now we have an issue. The plant's down now, and they can't run without your product. I was like, got you, dog. I'll be rolling in 20 minutes. I got you. Let me run and get some coffee. We'll be rolling. And when I got to the receiver, the guy was literally standing in the parking lot waiting on me. And he was like, hey, go hit Dock 4. I need to grab 2 skids, take them to the back. And I was like, look, dude, take all the time you need. I'm 2 days late. I know it's not my fault, but I know it's not yours, and here we are. And he was like, no, he says, I get it, man. Trucks break, things happen. He goes, but let me grab 2 skids, take them to the back so we can start running again. And he said, I'll finish unloading you. And I was still out of there in 30 minutes. It was fucking wonderful. The people were very understanding. So I've got very mixed reviews. And I ain't been to Speedco in a long time. I got very mixed reviews. One, they get no stars because of what happened. The other guys that tried to fix everything, they get 5. I mean, you got a bad apple. It happens in trucking, it happens in law enforcement, it happens in everything. So there we stand with that shit. Anyway, y'all be careful, y'all be safe. Don't ever put your fingers where you want to put your face. This is my 3rd night at home since March 8th, and I don't know what's going on right there, but so I'm just going to enjoy it. Let's see y'all.